Hi, it's Janelle from Infinite Potential Healing, and we are going to explore the March 18th new moon in Pisces. Yay! So this particular new moon comes in at 9:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, because we're on Daylight Savings Time. I have some feelings about that, but that is not to be discussed here. So this new moon in Pisces offers us, just like all new moons, a new beginning. And in Pisces, this is a brand new beginning in the area of our spirituality, our dreams, and also to some extent our emotions and better emotional balance. Because Pisces, ideally, even though it can be a sign of extremes, and you see the two fish that are kind of chasing their tails around in a circle, ultimately those fish are chasing their tails looking for kind of that emotional balance that comes in from the yin yang symbol that it sort of mimics. So in Pisces, our new moon wants us to connect with our emotions, and it wants us to have an emotional new beginning. So there needs to be an element within this new moon of, what do I want to feel better about? What do I want to feel differently about? And now, as we're literally inching up on the spring equinox, there's also going to be the question subsequently of, and what action am I willing to take to support feeling the way that I want to feel? But we're not quite there yet. Give it about a day, give or take. So focus on your emotions and focus on, how you want to feel. How has the first part of this year felt to you? What do you like? What do you want more of? What have you not liked? And what do you want to replace what you haven't liked with that you can have more of? And then when it comes to our spirituality, we will often set intentions for, all kinds of different things. We set intentions for our physical health. We set intentions for our families, our friendships, our primary romantic relationships. We set intentions for our children. We set intentions for our households, for our finances. We set intentions for our, mental processing. We set intentions for our emotional processing. But we very, very rarely look at, and we hardly ever lean into setting intentions for, or even putting focus on, our spirituality. And this new moon in Pisces, which is happening literally a day and change before, not even a day and change, before we hit the spring equinox, is basically saying to us that this year of the fire horse, this astrological new beginning that we're coming into when Aries, when the sun goes into Aries in a little over a day, is meant to be intuitively connected, intuitively guided, spiritually connected, spiritually guided. So what new beginnings do you need in those areas of your life? Because this is how this particular zodiac year is meant to be lived. This is the energy that we are meant to focus on. A lot of times I hear people who are hesitant to look at or lean into their spirituality because it just feels like another thing to do. It just feels like so much work. It's just, other things that we have to add to the plate, and we're already so overwhelmed. And I hate to break it to you, but if you are looking at your spirituality as something that is on the to-do list and something that feels overwhelming, then that's your sign that you actually need to look a lot more, a lot closer, and a lot harder at your spirituality, because that is absolutely not how it is supposed to feel. Your spirituality should be first priority because it should feel fucking amazing to you. Your spirituality should feel uplifting. It should feel supportive. And that doesn't mean, when I talk about spirituality, I am not telling you to take this new moon and start brand new practices across the board. I am not telling you that you have to meditate for 20 minutes in silent meditation twice a day, and that you have to eat only vegan, organic, ethically grown foods. I am not telling you that, you have to get a specific amount of steps every day. I am not telling you that you have to do yoga a certain number of times a week, that you have to journal, that you have to, cleanse your energy and your chakras and use certain crystals. And because when we start to look at that, yeah, that does feel fucking overwhelming. But it goes back to what we were talking about adding in those habits and those, patterns and those practices that can seem small, but really pack a lot of punch and give you big bang for your buck. When you lean into your spirituality and you are in that beautiful flow state of just all of the juicy goodness of being connected and protected and guided, it doesn't feel like work to you. It feels like this is where I want to fucking be all of the time. And everything else is just fucking noise. Everything else becomes the chores, the overwhelm, the chaos. But the other part about leaning into your spirituality and having a new beginning there and embracing it in that way is that overwhelm doesn't feel as overwhelming when you're focused on your spirituality first and foremost, which is how it is supposed to be. There has also been a lot of controversy, mostly in recent weeks, that I've seen about what you are and are not supposed to do during lunar cycles. So now we have another category that's getting popularized on social media that people are arguing about. The reality is, there are different schools of thought as to how to work with and utilize lunar energy. So I'm going to encourage you to find and to, kind of partner with the school of thought that most or easily and best resonates with you and your life. Again, take the right, take the wrong out of it. If you do certain things, spiritually or metaphysically, you're not going to break yourself. You're not going to break your intuition. You're not going to damage your intuitive connection. That's all bullshit. It's all nonsense. That is, I want to be very clear that, certain practices and certain spell work, like there's an exception to that, and we're not talking about that here. That's in the category of a little knowledge can be dangerous. So maybe don't lean into that if you don't know what the fuck you're doing there. Please and thank you. That was my public service announcement for the day, and my humble request to everyone. But, the things that we're talking about are personal. This is about your personal spirituality. So my foundational thought on new moons versus full moons has always been that we initiate under the new light of the new moon, and we release or we complete under the illumination and the inspiration of the full moon. So that is the energy that I have always worked with. It has always worked really well for me. I'm sure that there are certain people in, other metaphysical mentalities or modalities that would not necessarily agree with what I just said. But again, that's what's worked for me. I encourage you to find what works personally best for you and to go with that and avoid the idea of right or wrong. So with this idea of we start new things under a new moon and this focus that Pisces puts on our spirituality, ask yourself, what do I want to do differently? What do I want to be new within my spirituality and my spiritual practice? It could literally just be you contemplating that question for the next couple of weeks. You may not get an answer immediately, whereas you might have known the answer to that question before I even finished asking it. You could easily be somewhere in between. There is no right, there is no wrong. Just be mindful of what you want to do and focus there. Put your intentions there. One of the things that I have often done, I don't want to say always, but often, frequently, not necessarily religiously, during a new moon, is that I write a new moon wish list. I don't use a specific number of wishes, but I always do. My last line is always, I thank the universe for this is something, or something even better. I will sign it with my legal signature, and I will usually typically burn that new moon wish list at the next full moon because that's my act of creation and release. So when I write this particular new moon wish list, My focus, my wishes, if you will, are going to be based and rooted in my spiritual practice. How do I want to bring newness there? What do I want to level up within that practice? And so I would encourage you to look at your practice through the lens and the light of this brand new moon and ask yourself what you want, what you're guided to have or to be new during this new moon in Pisces, and put your intention and your focus there and enjoy seeing just how magical and just how powerful your spirituality can be when you choose to prioritize it and you choose to prioritize that focus.